This day, we thank you for this time, God. We thank you for this county we live in. We certainly ask your blessings on this place that we live, Lord, and on our people. God, we ask your blessings on our state and on our nation. Lord, we ask us in this meeting tonight that you would guide us and direct us and help our thoughts to be your thoughts and give us wisdom and knowledge and help us to make the decisions we need to make. All these things we would thank you because it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. We will now call to order the Swain County Commissioners' regular session this November the 18th at 6 o'clock. And Gunnar, if you would, please.
Face the colors. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. The only thing that I see as we move down the agenda is the adjustment, and that's to put the what is it, Aya? And I would recommend that under number 3, after the budget amendment.
That'll be fine.
Any problems, any questions for that? Okay, if not, let's move on down the agenda, and we will start with our administrative reports and the tax collector.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is October 21. Total receivable $6,727,202.49. Tax lien cost and interest $3,935.82. Penalties $212.82. Write-offs, cashbacks, refunds $2,362.94. 2021 ad valorem tax for the month $368,783.97. Year to date $2,584,072.92. Delinquencies current $384,819.29. Waste fee collected for the month $72,168.20. Year to date $453,168.15. Motor vehicles, we had some come in delinquent $79.96. Through the NCVTS $40,121.17. Year to date $161,196.71. Total monthly collected for taxes is $463,499.07. Total collected year to date is $3,139,317.79.
Okay, any questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept the report as given.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion on the floor to accept the report as given. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you very much. Moving on down the report, or the agenda, the finance officer's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's for October 21. Total revenues for the month, $1,283,482.14. Total revenues year to date, $6,218,151.06. Percentages of revenues year to date, received 68.09%. The expenditures for the month, $1,066,795.95. Total expenditures year to date, $5,885,291.74. Percentage of expenditures paid out year-to-date, 69.82% of the current year surplus of $332,859.32. Solid waste total revenues year-to-date, $552,742.61. Total expenditures year-to-date, $387,982.71, with a surplus of $164,759.90. Social services, total revenues year-to-date, $838,470.51. Total expenditures year-to-date, $1,190,184.17, with a deficit of $351,713.66. Health Department fund revenues year-to-date, $658,008.89. Total expenditures year-to-date, $773,047.62, with a deficit of $115,038.73.
Okay, any questions, commissioners? Hearing no questions, I will entertain a motion to accept this report as given.
I'll make a motion, we accept this report as given.
Second, Mr. Chair.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to accept this report as given from the finance officer. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Carried unanimously. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Mr. Manager?
So this is, what you're seeing next is budget amendment number 2, and this is distribution of the ARF funding. So the first part of it is going to be a little bit different. So we have an ARF fund that's totally separate from the general fund or any of their ancillary funds. And so what we're doing is distributing those funds within the individual departments. So we have the general fund, the human services fund, which consists of the health department and DSS, and then the sanitation fund. So each one of those is just a distribution between those things between those different departments to spend the money for the premium pay policy. And that's a total amendment of $569,200, and that's for the entire year.
For the year, not
For the year.
next. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, commissioners, you've heard the report. Budget amendment number 2. Do you have any questions? If you have no questions, I will accept a motion to adopt this budget amendment.
I'll make a motion to adopt budget amendment number 2.
Thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to accept the budget amendment number 2. This is for the ARF funding, and covers the whole year, not just the next draft out. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it's accepted with 4 to 0 count, motion, election, whatever you want to call it.
4 to 1.
4 to 1.
Yeah.
I said 0, didn't I? 4 to 1. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. It appears we have no, or do we have, we were going to put her right after the budget amendment.
Yep.
Okay. Via Health, you're on.
I always have to pull the microphone down. I'm not very tall. Hopefully I don't knock it over and create a whole disturbance here this evening. So thank you for having me this evening. And as you know, ViHealth is a public managed care organization overseen by the Department of Health and Human Services. And in our role, we manage both Medicaid and state funds allocated through the General Assembly to people in need of mental health, substance use, and developmental disability services. And we do that through contracts with a variety of providers. So the first thing I always like to do is recognize Commissioner Siegel. He's been a very valued member of our County Commissioner Advisory Board. That is currently a 22-member board made up of one commissioner from each of the counties in our area. And then, of course, County Manager King, who's been on our board of directors how many years? I mean, it's been a long time, has many, many years. So what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is, so ViHealth had an opportunity this summer to acquire more counties in our catchment area through the dissolution of Cardinal Innovations. Cardinal is a similar organization to ours in the eastern part of the state, and they had gone through many challenges with their counties disengaging, wanting to go to other LME MCOs, and I think you have a map in your handout. And they came to us and asked if we would be willing to consolidate with their remaining counties, with VIA being the surviving entity. So basically, they go away as of January 1st. So we are already a very large catchment area, which is a good thing because we have more people, more covered lives, which is even in the public insurance world is a good thing. So as we began to look at the size of our footprint, it really became clear that we needed to look at our governance structure in a way that ensured responsiveness to our counties and to each of our regions so that we didn't lose touch. So our current structure is mandated under general statute. And that is, we have a board of directors with a 21-member board that is defined in legislation with different positions that are noted to be filled. And we have two other advisory groups. We have the County Commissioner Advisory Council, and then we have a Consumer and Family Advisory Committee, which is made up of people with lived experience or their family members. So that's sort of the governance structure. So as we looked at how to really restructure ourselves to be as responsive as we could be, and I would invite you, County Manager King, or Commissioner Siegel to speak up, because I know you've been involved in both developing this and approving it, and it's been a lot of work. We decided to come up with 4 distinct regions. So what we are going to do, Region A, the 7 westernmost counties, will be one region, and there will be 3 additional regions across the state. So our 7 counties will come together. And what we've decided to do is, instead of having that very large County Commissioner Advisory Board, we are going to create a regional advisory council where each county in the region, so you as Swain County, will have the ability to pick 2 members that you appoint to serve to this regional group. So in our region, it'll be 7 counties, 14 members. Of those, 1 must be a commissioner, because we definitely want to make sure we're continuing our link with county government and have that conduit for Commissioner Siegel to report back to you. And then your second appointment has a little bit more flexibility. If you have a second commissioner that is willing to serve, it could be another commissioner, so you could have 2 commissioners. You could also appoint your county manager to serve as that second member. Then if it comes to the point where the commissioner or county manager would not be in one of those roles in the second position, you could also appoint someone from one of your public agencies, and that would be either your public health director, your DSS director, or your sheriff. No pressure. So once each of our counties comes together and makes their 2 appointments, that group will begin meeting in January. And so that leads us to the proposed new board structure. So, and I think I sent you this. If everyone doesn't have it, I'll resend it or hand it
Yeah,
out.
we'll have to resend it.
Pardon?
You have to resend it.
Okay. So each of the regional advisory boards, when they convene, will be allowed to appoint 2 of their members. So 2 of the 14 members in Region A will be appointed to our board of directors. Each of the other 3 regions will also appoint 2 members. So even though our geography is about half the size and population of the other regions, we are very large and we have very complex needs. So in our region, we will have 2 members from the Regional Advisory Council appointed to our board of directors, as will the other 3 regions. And then from there, the rest of the makeup of our new board of directors will be 4 directors appointed for our Consumer and Family Advisory Committee, which that is currently, they're currently board members, so that would be a person or their family member with a mental health, substance use, developmental disability, or a traumatic brain injury. So 4 members from the Consumer and Family Group. And then we will have 1 position that the secretary appoints, which is the way it's currently structured. She has that right on every board like ours. Currently, that is Paige Lamel, who is an ex-commissioner in Transylvania County. And then after all of the regional boards make their appointments and the Consumer and Family Advisory Committee, there will be an additional 8 large slots open so that our board of directors in consultation with the regional advisory councils can look at the makeup of the board and see if there's a need for different kinds of expertise, like in the healthcare field or in insurance or, you know, whatever kind of need that they would have. So there'll be those 8 large members. And then lastly, we are going to add a new category. There are 3 non-voting members, but they will be advisory in nature only, and that would be somebody who has national or state expertise. Let's just say the secretary decides to retire and she wants to be on our board, or Dave Richard, who's over the Department of Medical Assistance, if he would like, you know, so people with experience in our system that could bring expertise, but they'll be non-voting members. So really that would be a total of 8, 14, well, 16, 17, so 18 voting members on our board. And so what I'm here to talk to you about tonight is the timing of that. So this structure was approved by both our board and our County Commissioner Advisory Board. I'm taking this month to talk to boards of the commissioners about this. We are hoping that you can make your appointments at least by your December meeting. We know many times in December, your Board of Commission will make appointments and reappointments and things like that. And then we hope to have all those appointments in, and so we can convene the group in January. So I'm going to stop and see if, I know Commissioner Siegel has been excited about it. I'm very excited about it. I will be staffing our regions group along with someone who will help with minutes and meeting notices. You as a group, or that group, will decide when they meet, where they meet, virtual, face-to-face, if they move around or if they have a central location, the time of day. We ask that they meet at least quarterly. They can meet more if they want, or they can meet at least quarterly. So let me ask Commissioner Siegel, what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's a great idea. I always, like, boards sometimes get too big, too broad. And we talked about this, especially on Zoom meetings or even in person. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts and ideas, but they never say them because there's so many people talking. So, and narrowing this thing down to where we have in our region kind of makes it a little bit more, your circle's a little smaller, you get a little bit more familiar with the people that you know, and then the meetings can, like I said, can move and go different places. You know, sometimes it's hard to make meetings in Asheville.
Oh, yeah.
For me on a Wednesday, you know, so the Zoom meetings actually help me out. So,
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good thing. And then we're adding, how many counties are we adding to it?
9.
There's 9 counties coming into this program, so.
I can leave this with you if you want to pass it around, just so people can see, especially that map.
It's gonna,
And the
it's gonna be a great advantage, not just to our region, but to all the regions. But I think narrowing it down to focus a little bit more, in this area is gonna help. And it's gonna help people understand what Value Health is actually doing.
Well, and I think we'll be able to get a lot more into challenges and opportunities for our region.
Exactly.
You know, and work on some new programs, initiatives. One of the counties, when I made this presentation, the county manager was excited that he wanted to participate because of the opioid settlement funding, and how maybe as a region, it could be like, what could we do at the county level versus could we put our money together at a regional level and help? So I think it'll be a really great planning group for Region A. I don't know, as a board member, if you,
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot, I guess, over this last, 5 or 6 months.
yeah,
One of our biggest struggles was, at the board level, was talking about how to incorporate the other 9 counties, and actually, it was actually more than that, and a couple of them decided to go to a different
Right.
MCO. And so it was one of the biggest things in the, as far as at least the members of our area that's on that board, was to try to keep our voices heard. And so the initial concept was to do it based on population,
yeah,
and we kind of balked at that. We were only gonna get 1 member on the board. And so we pretty much stood firm and
Yeah.
said, you know, it's gotta be even, every district needs to have equal representation. And so I think that was one of the big challenges. And that took several meetings to make our voices heard, but they finally got the,
yeah.
got our intent. And I
We
I
have
think
good
it's gonna be
representation from the West on our board.
very vocal anyway.
Yeah, we're all very vocal.
So when you have Ronnie Bill, it's very
Yeah,
vocal.
the squeaky wheel.
So, but I think that this was the best of any that we've done. I've been through, let's see, well, it's actually been 4 regions.
Right,
When
you
we were
started with Smoky.
Smoky was, and then we've developed into this, so this is the 4th merger of Smoky, with the inception. And so every time you add more counties, it creates more, you have to worry about the group cohesion, how all that's gonna make, you know, how are you gonna fit everybody together? So I think this was a good plan. Going back to this regular Smoky 7 area, I think was a good thing. That way we kind of we all have kind of similar problems, and, you know, different regions in the state are gonna have different things that they're gonna focus on.
And different providers, too. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
I'm very excited about it. It's one of, I've always thought a regional approach would be a great approach, and so I'm so happy to see this. Other
I
questions?
just have a question. The other 9 counties, how were they chosen? They seem to be so far scattered out.
Because Cardinal Innovations, which is an organization just like VIA, they fall under, they manage state and Medicaid funds for, how many, I'm trying to remember, they had like 22 counties at one time in the sort of the central west part of the state, and it included Mecklenburg. And they had some challenges. I don't know if you guys remember about 4 or 5 years ago, where they were one of the only LME MCOs that sort of stepped outside of the state system. Like, we're still part of the state employee system. And they, after several audits, they had findings against them because of their exorbitant salaries that they were paying some of their leadership, travel of staff and boards to very expensive locations, and really misusing public dollars. And so the Department of Health and Human Services, when they refused to come into compliance, basically went in and took that organization over and started a new board, restructured, and, you know, even After that, they had several years of trying to work with their counties, but they still struggle to have good relationships with like their DSS directors. They struggled to really have many counties who felt comfortable with them. And so counties can choose to disengage and go to another LMEMCO. And so some of them, because of the geography, there were other ones very close, and they started doing that. And Mecklenburg was, when Mecklenburg left in Forsyth County, I think Cardinal felt like they couldn't survive. So that's when they approached us and said, would you be interested in a consolidation? And so at that point, with us surviving, basically Cardinal goes away as of January 1st. And so we said we would do that, and of the 14 counties that they had remaining, 9 chose to come with us. And as you can see, like by the map, others went with other MCOs that may be closer to them in geography.
And that was one of my questions about the geographical location.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I thought I had said, I'm sorry, I should have resent it, I'm sorry.
No problem.
But that's why I think the regional advisory groups, because what we have to deal with here in Swain County, there may be some similarities between, with us and Caswell, but maybe not, or, I mean, it's just, our Region A has always worked together, so.
Questions, gentlemen? Now, did I understand you to say that you wanted this body to make decisions by our next meeting, December meeting?
Yes, if possible.
It's basically just appointing 2 members to the Regional Advisory
Right.
Board. Currently, you have appointed Kevin Siegel as one in the bigger region, but this will be another one. And so now it's 2.
Right. So,
appointees.
right, that second member could be another commissioner, it could be the county manager, it could be DSS, health director, or the sheriff.
The county manager now serves on the board, do you not?
Yes,
Correct,
he
and I
does.
won't be after,
Well,
well, possibly won't be.
Yeah.
So that basically, you're gonna have 14 people that's on our Regional Advisory Board. They're gonna choose 2 people to go on to be on the main board out of the 14.
yes,
So I still would have a possibility, because I'm on the board now, but there's a lot of people that will be on that, I'm sure, on that committee that's also on the board also. I know several in our area that would still probably want to be on the main board.
Okay, so being on the main board is not a disqualifier of serving on this particular board?
Oh, it would be, and I would be more than happy to serve on if y'all choose to, or if
Yeah.
another commissioner wants to, it doesn't matter.
yes.
To me, whatever y'all want to do.
You could definitely serve on the regional advisory council for sure. And, the reason we wanted it to be another commissioner, county manager, or public agency director is because of their understanding of the population that we serve. We mutually serve many of them. And yeah, County Manager King has been a very valuable board member.
Right, but it appears, I'm sorry, excuse me just
No, you
one
go
more
ahead.
second. It appears to me that if you have served on the main board, that you understand what's going on and what's happening, and that would be very good for us, because we generally wind up down at the bottom somewhere, so, as a county I'm talking about.
And I'd be more than happy to step into that role if
So,
y'all chose.
so I just wanted to make that statement.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
So you're free to make appointments tonight.
He's already been there,
Really?
and he's got a voice there. They know him.
Yeah.
So I think it would be appropriate if you wanted to keep me on and didn't put him on, that's whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now then, I need to back up and get a grip here and find out where we are, and do we need to do this tonight, or do we need to do it at the next meeting, or
I'm sure
when?
Shelley would love for you to do it tonight if you chose to do that.
I'm competitive. No, I'm trying to get on, I'm trying to get on
One
mine
less she
in.
has to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay. As the commissioners, do you have any questions about what you want to do or what's going on?
My thoughts would be to have Mr. King, Mr. Siegel, appoint them to the board. They're already serving, they already know what's going on. I would be my suggestion to maintain both of them or nominate both of them, or be my thoughts, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Then, Commissioner, I'm going to ask you to make that a motion.
All right, well, I'll make a motion that we appoint Kevin Siegel and Kevin Coon to the VIA board for representing Swain County.
Wherever they fit in, that's what you're making the motion?
Whatever that means exactly.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor that Mr. King and Mr. Siegel be the nominees from us to the new VIA board, I guess is what, the way you would term it.
Thank you. You go,
Okay,
you haven't
Any
finished.
questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Passed unanimously. Okay.
Thank you so very much. And then we'll be back after we meet and talk to you more about the structure and what the agenda will be in our work. So thank you so very much for letting me come tonight and taking action.
Thank you for coming and sharing with us.
I will say they're public meetings, so if the sheriff or anyone else would like to attend, you're more than welcome to attend. We'll make sure you get the notices.
I'd like to say something before you leave.
Okay,
I
go ahead.
appreciate Shelley because she always texts me and reminds me of these meetings beforehand,
yeah,
makes
that's
sure
always
that I
good.
know.
Let me tell you,
Appreciate
it's just gentle reminder.
I like it. I need it.
Oh, we all do, for sure. Okay, moving on down the agenda, we have the action items for tonight. One, we just did. Two are the minutes from the October 14th and October 28th work session, a regular meeting and work session. And as I always do, or if someone does, I'm going to, by acclamation, say we're going to accept both of them at the same time. And if you have any questions or anything, any changes, if you've gone over the meetings, if not, then I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as read, or as presented.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes from October 14th and October the 28th, the regular and work session. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to accept the minutes from the October 14th and October 28th meetings. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, passed unanimously.
Mr. Chairman, may I just,
Sure.
I don't think we're gonna have, but we skipped over public comment.
I
So
looked
did
back
we?
and no, there was no
Was that
public.
one? So
Yeah,
that was
I was-
none, right? I can tell by the audience, we don't have any, so
Well, but
VIA was.
we had a deputy look in and tell me no, so
Okay.
That's the secret code. So,
Got you.
okay, in your paperwork tonight, you have the Swain County 150th proclamation, and I'm sure you have read it. Do we have any questions or discussion on this? If not, then I would like for us to adopt this proclamation. Do you have anything you see that you would like to change or correct or additions? If not, then I will entertain a motion to adopt this proclamation for Swain County's 150th anniversary.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the proclamation, the 150th anniversary of Swain County.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to adopt this proclamation regarding the 150th anniversary of Swain County. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, passed unanimously. Okay, moving on down, we have the county manager's report.
Okay. First thing was just some informational stuff. We have an employee dinner on December the 10th. I think it's from 11 to 2. It's going to be a drop-in at the business center, so they'll come around, and so it won't be everybody at the same time, same place. So, or it'll be the same place, but not at the same time. We won't make it hard. I mean, so DOT East Alarka Road, we're gonna meet with them probably after Thanksgiving. We have been in contact with them. We're gonna go up there. We're gonna have a walkthrough and kind of see where some of our issues are, and we'll reach out to the folks that wanted the resolution, and to have them involved in that process as well when all that happens. So we're trying to set that up. So I just want to let you know we've got it on the radar. We're trying to get it set up. Participated in a broadband meeting the other night. It was very, very good. I'm stealing some of Danny's thunder here, but it was they're very well organized, and I was really impressed with the amount of information that comes out of those. So I'd like to participate more in those. That's great, and I think that everybody's got a common vision and just wanting more broadband access. We're hopefully going to know about our big grant opportunity on the 29th of November. Is what our understanding is. So once we get that through, hopefully we'll get that done. A lot of stuff happened today, actually. So the state budget was passed. Kind of diving through a bunch of stuff. Some things popped out. There is, of course, $1 billion appropriated toward broadband. So hopefully we'll get some of those funding through the great grant and other mechanisms as well. A couple of things that I was kind of intrigued about, and this is, I'm just stating some of the verbiage in it. The state passed a certain amount of money going to each county for school renovation dollars, not school construction, but school renovation. And so they're starting out, I think, with $300,000 per year for each county. So 100 counties, it's 300, 30 million. So, I'm sorry, 300 million. Anyway, so it's, hopefully we're going to get, that'll be, and then I think in 2 years from now, I think it's going to go up to 500 for each county per year. So that's going to alleviate a lot of our stress for like renovation dollars and upkeep on school systems. Also, in that verbiage, they mentioned that any critical needs grants, normally it was that 5-year, they took 5 years of your lottery proceeds away, and I think we're in our 3rd year of that. They're waiving the rest of it, so we'll be getting lottery proceeds again coming this year.
Wow.
So that'll help us out as well. And then I've given y'all a sheet here. These are direct appropriations to Swain County, both Swain County and the town of Bryson City, and I think a nonprofit. So you'll see first is Alarka Community Center, and all of these appropriations were sponsored by Senator Kevin Corbin and Representative Mike Clampett. So the first one, Alarka Community Center, $50,000 non-recurring allocation. Swain County Fairgrounds improvements, $250,000 non-recurring. Swain County Recreation Center, HVAC, $100,000. It says Swain County street lighting sidewalks, but I think this is the town of Bryson City Main Street project, $200,000. Town of Bryson City ATV, which I think they wanted an ATV for the Island Park area, $12,000. And in the town of Bryson City Tuxedo River Park project, which is also Island Park, $200,000. So these are in the budget and were approved and signed today. Some of this will dovetail back to some of the conversations that we've had about the room tax allocation of the additional cent room tax. That is still in process. The thought is that all the house room tax bills have been bundled together, and they're over on the Senate side currently. The thought is that that's all going to be wrapped up and put in an omnibus bill closer to the end, whenever the end of session is, which should be very soon, and hopefully passed on through. And if that happens, one of the criteria, talking to our legislators, was that we would put, for the first year, the same matching amount to these different various projects. So I think was the intent. But all in all, this is $850,000 of direct funding coming from the state for these various projects, so.
Mr. Kent, so matching things, we'll be doing the matching for the city stuff also?
The TDA room tax, whatever allocation, yeah.
We'll be
that was
doing
part of it.
that.
Now, some of it not, maybe, I think the river project was a match. I don't know if Main Street was a match. I know because at the time there was just one of those projects for the city, because there was 3 projects that were identified. There was the recreation center, HVAC or heating systems. There was the fairground improvements, and there was, I think, the river project. The other one, I don't know. That wasn't a part of the conversation. So it's still going to have to develop an MOU with the town and with TDA on the matching piece. But
And
the state
also,
can come up with theirs, is what.
also with the TDA funds, they're going to allow us to change the rules to match some of these, and if they let us do that, why can't we use the money to do some of this on our own?
Some of this criteria, so that's all in the legislation. I'm not sure how it's gonna transpire. So that's still up in the air. I think Representative Clampett has taken the lead on a lot of that, on how he's gonna allow the TDA, or I guess empower the TDA to place money toward these projects without violating the general statutes as far as how TDA can spend money. So that's all in that legislative piece. I don't know how he's gonna do that, but I think that's, that's in his ballpark. But that was the intent early on, about if we got the additional money, then I know 3 of these projects was a part of the initial package that we were gonna match.
The original intent for some of these was if we got the 2% increase, then we would match it. But we
Correct.
haven't gotten that yet.
Right, and if we don't, these appropriations are still there. So, and they are still doable. Now, there's no really, from my understanding, there's no other strings attached. The fairground piece, I think there's some verbiage about maybe parking lot and lots, maybe paved parking lot and lots, which is a good thing. And I think the HVAC, I mean, that's just what it is. It's gonna be heating and air, but hopefully we gotta throw some insulation in there somewhere, to keep the heating and air in. So that money can be allocated for that purpose. So, like I say, this is today, and I've not got any more other than that. I just wanted, it was brand new, and I thought I'd let y'all know that it did get passed.
Good. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's all I've got tonight.
Always try to keep remembering which side I begin on whenever we do the commissioner's reports. It doesn't make that much difference, I guess, so. But, Mr. Burns, if you would, please.
Yeah, I was just looking,
Oh, you're trying to put it together now?
well, yeah, I've got some of them on here, some minutes from the C4C meeting. I
Yeah.
didn't get to attend the meeting, I was out of town, but Linda sent me the meeting minutes.
Do you need more time? Do you need more time?
No, I've got it right here, I was just looking it up to give you some of the details of the meeting.
Okay.
The meeting went well. They have had an anonymous donation of $5,000 to purchase books, so they will be purchasing books. They want to give kids one book before Christmas and then one after, and that would be giving every book, giving every child, I think up to about the 5th grade, two free books. And then we're starting our Christmas basket, and I think they've identified 47 families we'll be doing a Christmas basket for through that. they're working to do stuff for teachers. They're getting their Reading Buddy program up, because now you can start going back into schools, so that's beginning. They're doing prayer partners for teachers and staff, ones that won't. They're working on that. They need like 50 prayer partners. So the C4C is doing a lot. We got a lot of things going on. So that was one of the meetings. Kevin mentioned the broadband meeting, and he covered most of that. I will just say, what her name from the school, she did give an update on the space beta, the free, like 61 families that had that. There was good feedback from that. That's still going on. They had one that was kind of dissatisfied and turned hers in, but most were doing real good. That was the program through, I believe it was, those were through SpaceX, but then there was another program through NC State, and it's just little things like this I think we look over. They received $15,000 worth of hotspots to extend service, things like that. So there's a lot of things happening that's real positive in the broadband system, or that. There's a lot of monies, like you say, as we realize, some of it's not as easy to attain. There's always a stipulation, but we are looking to the golden leaf, looking to different things and applying for everything that they can. Had a library meeting. They will be coming to present. We did the architect did have the drawing of the interior. He's working on an exterior drawing concept thing. Somewhere around the 1st of February, they'll have the whole package and be able to present that. They have applied for a Golden Leaf grant, and the way they're able to do that was, part of this would be through job creation, some of the things they can do in some of their programs. As you know, there's not a lot of grants for brick and mortar and things like that, but it'll be a while before they hear about that. So that's all moving forward, and they will, at a point when they get all this information together, present it to the board and fill us in on what they've come up with.
Well, good. I think they're working hard.
Oh, they are.
From everything that I hear, that they really are working hard.
Yeah, and at the point they get all that together, they'll begin, a fundraising event.
Right.
They were able to, I guess, to sell the houses going through, and that's all, when that all works out, that'll give them a good start of money in the bank to start with. So, still got a long way to go. There's a lot of concepts to that, but
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with what? You got your first step.
Starts with the first
That's
step.
good. Yeah. Great, thank you.
Been on Zoom meetings with Vi Health, getting all this kind of situated and seeing where everybody's wanting to go. So it's pretty interesting to listen kind of how this healthcare, especially mental health, sometimes it's kind of hard to narrow down and figure out. But so I think they're building a good team, what they're doing, this region thing. So. Also, we attended the school board, I don't even know what that's called, building assessment.
Facility assessment.
Facility assessment, yeah. So I'll let Ben talk more on that, but it was a good meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Roger, what's that?
Just 2 items since we've met last, and both of them were yesterday, had a core meeting, a Zoom meeting with the core, family resource group and the core meeting, and then a Foursquare meeting yesterday afternoon at 2 o'clock in Andrews. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I didn't attend any meetings, any certain groups or anything. I'd had some conversations with several people about this affordable. I think you and Roger attended a meeting about affordable housing, which was more or less a meeting about how to get housing for more workers, or something, but it ended up being more so than affordable housing. And I talked more to Miss Julia Hunt, and I talked to some other people in the community, and I've been asked to bring it to the board to think about starting a committee to look into this.
Into the housing situation?
Yes. Told them I didn't know exactly what we could do in a committee. I mean, if people want to be on one, I think that they can be on a committee if they want to, but I told them I would bring it, at least get it in everybody's ear. I don't know exactly how to, I've heard lots of ideas from zoning would help, which I don't believe would, but I heard that, to other things that the government should do. I would like for the community to get more involved in some of this instead of trying to rely on the government to do it. But I don't know how that would work neither, so. But I brought it to you guys, and if you've got any ideas, call me and let me know. Another conversation or two I had with some other people was about the train. I don't believe the train is backing off of what they claim to be their right-of-ways for some people, and still crossways, it's been there forever. They are still sending letters to people that telling people what they can do and what they can't do, and telling them what they have to do. And I know that we are part of a lawsuit, and I don't know how much we can talk about any of that right now, but I'm wondering how long it's going to take to get some of the clarification, because this case should clarify, especially with the right-of-way of what the train has, and it, hopefully the crossing, railroad crossings also. Do you think it's going to take a long, long time? Because if it does, we're not going to be able to help any of the people that are coming to me for help, and I don't know how to help them.
You know, your guess is as good as mine as far as the legal system, so it's just how long. I know that, I think all the comments are to the judge now, and, I think they're just waiting on a ruling, at least on the first hearing. So I don't know what the status is, but I think it's supposed to be middle part of December. They'll get something back whether it's gonna continue. More than likely, it'll probably continue, but I don't know. I don't know when, like I said, your guess is as good as mine is.
But this should help set some precedent to help some of the individuals who can't afford to hire lawyers and stuff and try to fight.
I would speculate, and I'm not an attorney, but I would speculate if it goes to a judgment, then yes, it would. But if it doesn't go to a judgment, then it probably wouldn't. So.
I know that Swain County and a couple of other parties were saying that they shouldn't be a part of this, and that had gone to the judge, to the courts. Were there any rulings on that, on those?
No, that's what we're waiting on for the middle part of December. He's got the information.
Right.
That was last Friday, I think. So hopefully, maybe right after Thanksgiving, we'll get acknowledgement of what, you know, if we're still part of it or not. So.
But hopefully we'll get clarification. That should set clarification for lots of things, hopefully. I'm hoping so.
Yeah, well,
Can hope.
I would agree with that as well.
And one more thing, back to the TDA and the agreement with the town or whatnot. We never have had our meeting with them because we never did set a real agenda. We said a few things, but are we going to try to have a meeting, or are they gonna hold us to sticking to whatever we put on an agenda is all we're allowed to talk about?
The request that came from the city was that they would like to have an agenda set before they met with us. So that was the criteria. So I've got down a lot of different things, but, you know, I think they wanted to wait maybe till after this last election cycle to meet, because it kind of got up there. So anyway, that was the thought.
So can we set up a meeting now and?
We can, and we'll try to start. I'll get an agenda out and let y'all tweak it. If you think of anything else, you let me know, and then we'll kind of go from there.
All right, thank you.
Well, I will talk a little bit, but I need Kevin King to explain again so that we're not confused. The meeting where we sat down with some people regarding housing was not a housing meeting. They had come from another department, State Department, and would you mind explaining
Yeah,
what that
so-
meeting was supposed to have been?
So it was basically just a listening session, I think. And it was more geared toward what county government's perspectives were. And, I think, there was a lot of people in the community that's very enthusiastic about trying to get some sort of affordable housing initiative going. And so the people that were in the room were actually funders. They wasn't with the state, they were with nonprofit foundations that are trying to figure out how they can put money towards specific projects in the community that's gonna help. And so I think they were just here to listen, and we kind of caught them off guard a little bit because we were enthusiastic about it. We're ready to go. And so I think that, but that was what it was. It wasn't, they have money sitting here with a checkbook ready to write you a check. They're here just listening to what you as a community or us as a government want, or how we're gonna handle affordable housing, if we're gonna handle it, and how we're gonna do it, and our perceptions. And like I say, it turned into a little bit bigger than what it should probably, but I think it's good that they know we're enthusiastic about it. So I was very happy with the way it turned out. So
Yeah, the only thing that I'm saying is that there are some people who were calling it a housing meeting, and it was not a housing meeting.
No, it wasn't a call meeting by anybody. We just, they wanted to meet with me, and they made the comment in the email that, or any other people I've chose. And so they shouldn't have said that.
So he brought other people,
So I brought people who were enthusiastic.
and they were not ready for that, so. Oh, and the paper was here for that meeting
Yes.
as well, so.
But she's enthusiastic about it.
One of the other things that I will talk about is the meeting that Commissioner Siegel and I attended. Gee, that just seemed like last night. When was that?
I don't know. Monday night.
Monday night. Anyway, it was a very interesting meeting because the board of the Department of Education was looking at the 5-10-year plan, and what they were looking at was the facilities of the school and the buildings of the school. I mean, they talked about from a storage shed to the bus garage. They're trying to look at how they can move into the future and not go over, from my understanding, my interpretation was not go over the 45 acre footprint. And I don't see how you're going to do that, quite honestly, but that's just my opinion. Received a call today from Mark saying that they wanted to walk all the facilities and the areas around the facilities that the school has. And I think Tuesday of next week is when they will be calling that meeting together. And Danny, I ask that you be put on that list so that you know what's going on as well, since you are our representative to that
Well, I think
particular
Kevin's on
board.
that.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, we were both on.
Yeah.
So
That was when? Did you say
Tuesday about 4:30, I think.
Next Tuesday, the 23rd?
Yeah, and something should be coming out of Mark's office for that. So
So I was gonna say, I know I'm on that meeting, but I've been through these buildings several times.
so if somebody else.
So if somebody else that's not been,
Right.
wants to, that'd be perfect, fine with me. And if not, I'll try to get there.
Well, unless we hit 3, then we're not in trouble. So if
That's what I'm
somebody else
saying,
wants to
so-
go, you're more than invited to go. Work with Kevin, I think, would be the easiest way to handle that, Kevin.
Yeah.
Is switch
Let
off.
me know, and we'll switch out or.
Yeah, yeah. And I was glad to hear with the manager's report that we're getting up to East Alarka for that situation up there in the road. And I'm sure everybody has been up through there, but I drove up there the other day, and my goodness, why Swain County is not getting any new roads from North Carolina is just blows my mind. It's just way beyond me to understand, comprehend. So, you know, I mean, you've already had that accident up there and, you know, a lot of stuff. So we can only keep pounding and pushing and doing what we can do. Okay. I'm sure there's more, but right now I can't tell you what it is. So that will be my report. Okay, any new business? Next item on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Oh, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I propose that we do a Christmas bonus for our employees. It's like we've been doing every year for the last, how long we've been doing it, Kevin? I mean,
Probably 8 or 9 years, I guess,
yeah, somewhere around
or
there.
10.
So I wanted to bring that up tonight, that we do a Christmas bonus for them, which, so I know we've done this,
COVID.
the COVID money, but I don't think we should take away the Christmas bonus because COVID money is separate from the Christmas bonus.
Well, the COVID money only hit full-time employees, didn't it?
Yeah. That's
So
another
the
thing.
Christmas bonus would be for,
Would have the part-time and the full-time as well, so.
right.
I think as long as we're financially able to be able to do it, I think we should, continue to do it. So, that's my,
Okay, you've heard the statement from Commissioner Siegel. Any questions, or you want to make it a motion, or what do you want to do with it?
I'll make a motion that we do a Christmas bonus for employees, full-time and part-time, and do it the same thing as what we done the last time. You know what that
Can we
was,
get
Kevin?
It's 300 and 100, I believe.
I think that's what it was as well.
I think it was.
I think it's
That's
300
what's
and
sticking
100.
in my head anyway.
So I'll make that motion.
Okay. Any questions, or, oh, I guess I need a second first, don't I? Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion to match what it was last year, whatever
Okay.
whatever we determined that is, if it was 3 or 1 or whatever, just to match what we did
Well, I
last
think
year.
it was 3 for full-time and 1 for part-time.
I believe that's what it was as well.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor to give the staff a Christmas bonus, and you've heard the numbers. Any questions? If there are no questions, then all of those in favor of following through with that, please raise your right hand. Okay, passed unanimously. Okay, any other new business?
I just want to check, the emails that you had, there were some emails about a week or two ago come through, one about trash at a house, one was about a fire
Yeah.
that they sent to you and you sent it on out. Was there any of that stuff followed up on, or is there anything we need to discuss?
I emailed that lady back and told her to get up with Kevin, that we would send a trash can, that lady that had a fire that was up on.
Yeah, it's normally been a policy that if a home, burns, we help them at least take a dumpster out there and kind of get rid of the excess debris.
Well, I saw the email, but I just wondered if we'd followed up on it, if there's any
Yeah, I
action.
think so. I think
I
everything's
emailed her back and explained to her that we would take it out there and everything, she just needed to get it with
handled.
Kevin.
She was
and get it-
coordinating with Jerry, so I
Okay.
think that,
Well, that's good. So
Yeah,
I've not heard
like I
anything.
said, I seen the
I'm
email,
sorry,
the request, and I
yeah.
never knew if
Well,
anything had been
I
followed
talked
up.
think
to
I
somebody.
asked you, didn't I?
Yeah,
I think I
he
did.
asked me.
Good.
And then I
That
called
was a good
Kevin,
follow-up.
and then I
yeah,
emailed her back, so.
it's always been kind of a standard if a house
Sure.
burned or something.
Yeah. And there was one that you had, was sent to you that come out about something, I think I kept them on here, because I meant to mention them. No, I may have been thinking about, something about that situation, it's just getting worse, the mess about, it was near somebody's house. It was
Yeah,
from
there's a Franklin-
Deidre Tranter.
Is it?
It was to you, and you forwarded on to us. It said, still facing the situation's getting worse. And that was one of the, another one where some house below them, I think it was over
Oh,
on
right,
Jenkins
yes.
Road, that had lots of, they were just piling trash everywhere.
Right.
And I didn't know if anybody had followed up on that.
I think we tried to follow up by asking for more specifics, especially an address.
Okay.
Because you can't just drive up and down a road looking for trash.
I didn't delete it, I meant to ask about them, that's why I was bringing these up, they were still on my
No,
emails.
great, good.
Yeah. So that was just the two that I left on there that I wanted to.
And a lot of times I forward stuff that I get just so everybody knows what's going on.
Right. I was just curious if we'd moved on anything,
Right.
if was able to help.
So
them
I
in any
have
way.
not gotten any feedback from them, from
Okay.
my request of them. And I'm trying to remember, they say they want to be good neighbors and don't want to create problems, but you got to create a problem if you want the situation fixed, so. Okay. Anything else?
I'll say something on that. I know in times past, if someone's creating a illegal dump site, yeah, the sanitation department has the right to, try to address that as well. And I think they're backed up by state law on that.
I think a lot of this particular issue is more of a environmental health
Gotcha.
deal.
If that's an issue that can be brought up.
Yeah, it's a.
If it's on personal
feces,
property.
Rats, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the different stuff there, I think that's, because it's more household garbage. It's not like a, refrigerator,
Yeah, I
tires.
think it was, I think it
stuff like
was
that.
the
It was
garbage
just regular
bags put
bags,
out and
yeah.
nothing was done with them. So I don't know what to,
So we just have to have an address and then we can have environmental health, look into it. If it is a legal dump site, then we'll get sanitation on it, so.
I think the response that I got was that, if you come out to my house, you can look around and see what I'm talking about, but that doesn't quite cut it, so.
No. No.
Good.
Okay.
So. I wanted to just ask a question regarding the house that burned down, not only removing the debris of the house itself, but pounding, meaning people giving this person stuff that they need, maybe furniture or clothes or that kind of stuff. Do you know in the community, being a pastor in the community, do you know if any of the churches do that?
I'd say that most of them do. I'm sure that First Baptist and some of the bigger denominational churches
Right.
probably have something set up for that, so we could suggest it. Maybe you should contact one of those as well. Family Resource Center is probably a good avenue for that. I'm not sure, DSS may also have some helps in some of that stuff as well.
Okay, so I guess being with the Resource Center, Kevin, I would ask you to follow up and just see if they got any requests from this family to do what needed to be done as far as clothing and food and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they did, but I just want, so we know, and we know what's going on. Okay. Any other questions or any other concerns, gentlemen? We don't need to go into closed session, so the next item on the agenda is to adjourn. If you want to, we can sit here and talk all
I'll
night.
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to adjourn. All of those in favor,
Ben,
please raise your.
second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're trying to develop a challenge coin for the sheriff's office, and it's gonna be a double-sided coin, and one side of it, we wanna put the county seal with some county information on it. I just wanna make sure that that's not a problem. We're not running into any legal issues if we do that.
I don't believe you're gonna run into any legal issues. I think the seal is
It's good.
public property.
Okay. I don't know why they call it a challenge coin. There's no monetary value to it.
Hey, before
Well,
we
it
dismiss,
depends on how much gold you put in it, so.
before we get out of here, I'll ask Curtis a question, and he can explain a little bit of this about the project that you got going for the kids and the inmates.
So,
Yeah.
We've got a pilot program going this year. It's never been done before, but we've got a lot of inmates that's been in jail for a long time, male and female. And I've been thinking about it for a while, and I figured out a long time ago, if something really pressing on your heart, you better move forward with it. But we have, and the community has really bought into this and contributed to it. We've gathered funds and toys for inmates' children. And we've allowed, we set up a little store. We've allowed the inmates come up and shop in our store, either wrap the gifts or put them in bags and whatever and dress them to their kids. And then we're going to bring those families in and let them have some family time during this Christmas season. Hopefully it will inspire these people to realize they need to be with their families and not with me.
Right, yeah. Sheriff, is there any way we or individuals can donate to this program?
You certainly can. We'll not turn down anything.
Okay, and how do we do that?
Well, if you want to write a check, just make it out to Swain County Sheriff's Office, and in the memo line, put Inmate Children's Christmas Fund. And then we turn that in to the county, and I bought the gifts out of my pocket, and I'll be reimbursed out of that funds for those gifts I've bought. We've identified about 80 kids that their parents are in jail. One lady told me, she said, I have never held my child. So I'm assuming by that comment that her baby was probably taken while she was in custody and given to a family member. So that's going to be a good reunion right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Should be heart-rending.
It will.
Yep.
I hope it is.
Yes, right.
Yes, sir.
Should be heart-rending. Okay, Sheriff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make that
Thank
motion
you.
that we adjourn again.
Okay. Does the paper have anything to say? So. Okay. We have a motion on the floor to adjourn,
Second.
and we have a second on the floor to adjourn. All of those in favor, please raise your right hand. And it's passed unanimously. Plus one. Oh, I thought he raised his hand. Thank you, Sheriff.